Stop what you are doing and pay close attention. The world of international finance is experiencing a seismic shift that has the potential to change your family's financial future forever. You have held your position for years, ignored the skeptics who dismissed this opportunity, and kept your Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong securely stored, waiting for this exact moment to arrive. The silence has finally been broken by credible sources, confirming that the global currency revaluation process is no longer just a distant hope, but an unfolding reality. If you turn away from this information now, you risk missing critical instructions on how to access the exchange centers that are reportedly opening their doors. We are going to break down the specific rates being discussed, the redemption process, and the exact steps you need to take to ensure your wealth is protected during this historic shift. The energy in the financial world is absolutely electric because high-level sources have officially spoken out regarding the completion of the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong revaluation. For over a decade, dedicated investors have been tracking every move of the Central Bank of Iraq and the Vietnamese government, looking for any sign that the values of these currencies would be restored to levels that reflect their true economic potential. Recent statements have sent shockwaves through the investment community, indicating that the revaluation is officially complete and the transition to a new framework for global finance is now in full swing. This is the green light that every dinar and dong holder has been praying for, signaling that the wait is approaching its end and a new era of prosperity is beginning. You need to understand that this is not merely a small adjustment to exchange rates. This is a total overhaul of how these currencies are valued on the international stage. When we talk about the revaluation being complete, we are referring to the fact that the back-end systems of major global banks have allegedly updated their screens to reflect new, higher values for both the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. The infrastructure for this move has been under construction for years, involving high-level negotiations between sovereign nations to ensure economic stability. This means the program rate that investors have dealt with for so long is being discarded in favor of a market-driven or sovereign-backed rate that reflects the true wealth and productive capacity of Iraq and Vietnam. The exchange centers, which have been quietly prepared and positioned in the shadows, are now receiving their final orders to begin processing transactions for those who have been holding these assets. This is a monumental shift that validates the patience of millions of people who believed in the economic potential of the Middle East and Southeast Asia, despite constant negativity from mainstream financial commentators. The opening of these exchange centers is perhaps the most tangible piece of evidence we have seen in the entire history of this investment journey. Across the country and internationally, specialized locations are reportedly staffing up and preparing for a massive influx of currency holders ready to exchange their notes. These centers are not your typical local bank branches. They are high-security facilities designed to handle large-scale redemptions with efficiency and privacy. The confirmation that these centers are now live suggests that a tiered rollout is currently underway, starting with specific groups and moving methodically toward the general public. You must be prepared to act when your turn comes, because the window for initial contract rates or special rates may only be open for a very limited time before the currencies go fully float on the global forex market. Being prepared to move forward at the right moment could mean the difference between a good return and a life-changing fortune. One of the most incredible details coming out of this update is the specific rates being discussed in the inner circles of the financial world. According to the latest reports following recent high-level announcements, the Iraqi dinar is being seen on screens at a rate that far exceeds the minimal value it held just a short time ago. We are hearing consistent reports of a rate that could sit comfortably near the $3 to $4 mark, which would instantly transform a standard 1 million dinar holding into a multi-million-dollar asset. Similarly, the Vietnamese dong is showing remarkable strength, moving from a fraction of a cent to a rate that reflects Vietnam's status as a global manufacturing powerhouse. These numbers are not random guesses. They are reportedly the established values for this initial redemption phase. When you do the math on your current holdings, the reality of your new net worth might be difficult to process, but you must stay focused and grounded. You might be wondering why certain high-profile leaders are associated with delivering this news. The answer lies in the massive restructuring of the global trade system that has been taking place behind the scenes over an extended period. Iraq has been working to satisfy all its international obligations, stabilize its internal politics, and prove that its oil and mineral reserves can back a powerful currency. Vietnam has simultaneously become an indispensable player in the global supply chain, making its currency undervalued for far too long. Recent involvement from major economic powers signals that this move is supported at the highest levels to reset the global economy on a more equitable foundation. This update marks the culmination of those efforts, providing a level of transparency that the old financial system lacked, and giving power back to the individual investors who took the risk. Preparation is now your absolute #1 priority if you want to successfully navigate the exchange process without unnecessary complications. You need to gather all of your physical currency and ensure that it is organized by denomination and serial number, making it easy for exchange officials to verify. It is highly recommended that you have at least 2 forms of valid government-issued identification ready, along with any receipts or proof of purchase you kept when you originally bought your dinar or dong. Many of these redemption centers are operating on an appointment-only basis to maintain order and security, so you should be checking your primary communication channels constantly. If you are not organized, you risk being sent to the back of the line or missing out on the initial wave of high-rate exchanges. This is the business phase of your investment, so treat it with the professional attention it deserves. Security is another major factor that cannot be overlooked, as the sheer amount of wealth being transferred is unprecedented. When you head to an exchange center, you should be mindful of who you tell and how you travel, because your personal safety is paramount. These centers are equipped with top-tier security protocols to protect you during the transaction, but you must do your part by remaining discreet. Avoid posting about your success on social media or telling people who do not have a legitimate need to know about your new financial status until the money is safely secured in your accounts. The investment community is a target for scammers and bad actors who want to take advantage of the excitement, so listen only to verified instructions and never give your currency to someone promising to exchange it for you. This is your moment, and you must guard it with everything you have. The concept of a global currency reset has often been dismissed by critics, but the events unfolding prove that those who did their homework were right all along. This reset is designed to bring balance back to the world's nations, allowing countries like Iraq to participate in the global market with a currency that has real purchasing power. For the average holder, this means that the dormant currency you have had stored away is now active and extremely liquid. This shift is also expected to have a massive impact on the US dollar and other major currencies as the world moves toward a basket of asset-backed currencies. By holding dinar and dong, you have effectively hedged yourself against the inflation and instability that has plagued traditional markets, placing you in a unique position of strength. Looking at the details of the Iraqi Dinar news, it is clear that the Central Bank of Iraq has been working in total synchronization with international monitors to pull this off. They have cleared out the large notes from circulation and prepared lower denominations for use in their local economy, which is a classic precursor to a revaluation. High-level confirmations essentially act as the seal of approval for the world to recognize Iraq's new economic status. This is not just about making people wealthy. It is about the reconstruction of a nation and its full integration into the modern financial world. As an investor, you are a part of that history, providing the capital and the faith that help sustain the value of their currency through difficult times. Now, the reward for that faith is being distributed through these newly opened exchange centers. Many people are asking about the tax implications of such a massive windfall, and this is where you need to be incredibly smart and proactive. With a revaluation of this magnitude, you will likely be moving into a much higher tax bracket, and the government will certainly want its share. It is vital that you consult with a certified tax professional or a wealth manager who understands currency exchange and capital gains laws before you spend any of your new funds. Recent updates have indicated that the process would be structured and fully compliant with existing laws, implying that everything will be tracked by the relevant authorities. Setting aside a significant portion of your exchange proceeds for taxes is the only way to ensure that your new wealth does not become a legal headache in the future. Proper planning now will allow you to enjoy your financial freedom for the rest of your life. The role of the Vietnamese dong in this revaluation cannot be overstated, as it is often the quiet partner to the Iraqi dinar in these discussions. Vietnam's economy has been demonstrating the need for a stronger currency for years, as their current exchange rate does not accurately reflect their massive trade surplus and manufacturing growth. Holders of the dong have often been told to be patient, and now that patience is being rewarded with a rate that could potentially settle much higher than anyone expected. If the dong reaches even a fraction of $1, the percentage gain for those who bought in at the current rate will be astronomical. The inclusion of the dong in recent announcements shows that this is a comprehensive Asian and Middle Eastern reset aimed at boosting the economies of the fastest-growing regions in the world while rewarding savvy investors. We are also hearing that the group consisting of informed public investors is the current focus of the redemption centers. This means that after sovereign entities and larger institutional investors have completed their initial transactions, it is finally the turn of the everyday person. You should be looking for verified telephone numbers or secure websites where you can input your information to receive a redemption code and an appointment time. These contact points are expected to be released through trusted community leaders and specific financial forums that have followed this story for years. Recent guidance suggests that the rollout is designed to be orderly to prevent overwhelming the banking infrastructure. So if you do not get your appointment immediately, do not panic. The liquidity is there, the rates are locked in, and everyone who holds legitimate currency will have their chance. What happens to the global market after this revaluation? The restoration of the dinar and dong is expected to trigger a massive wave of reinvestment into the stock market, real estate, and new business ventures. Millions of new currency millionaires will suddenly have the capital to start companies, buy homes, and donate to charities, creating an economic stimulus that no government program could ever match. This is the wealth effect in its purest form, and it is why this event is so significant for the future of the global economy. By empowering people directly, the revaluation bypasses the traditional bottlenecks of the banking system and puts money directly into the hands of those who will use it to build. The vision for a prosperous future seems to be deeply tied to this release of value, which is why there is such vocal confirmation about the completion of the process. It is also important to address the noise and misinformation that will undoubtedly flood the internet in the coming period. Because this event is so massive, there will be many people trying to claim it is not real or attempting to divert you to fake exchange sites. You must stick to the plan and trust the process that has been laid out by the most reliable sources in the community. If a rate seems too good to be true, like hundreds of dollars per dinar, use your common sense. But if it aligns with the sovereign rates that have been discussed by knowledgeable sources, you are on the right track. The messages coming from leadership have been ones of confidence and completion, which should give you the peace of mind to ignore the trolls and the skeptics. This is the moment where your research and your intuition finally pay off. Stay grounded and do not let the excitement cloud your judgment. For the people of Iraq and Vietnam, this day represents a return to dignity and a future full of promise. A strong currency means that hard work will finally be worth something on the global stage, and the cost of imported goods will become more affordable, raising the standard of living for everyone in those countries. The revaluation is a humanitarian event as much as it is a financial one, and the world is watching as these nations take their rightful places as economic leaders. The cooperation between their central banks and international partners has been remarkable, and the stability that follows will be the foundation for peace and prosperity in those regions for generations to come. We celebrate with you as the new rates go live and the world recognizes your true value. If you have held your currency for an extended period, you know the emotional journey that this has been. There were times when it felt like the revaluation would never happen, and times when you were tempted to sell your notes for a fraction of their potential value. Now is the time when you can finally exhale and realize that you made the right choice. The confirmation from credible sources serves as the final piece of the puzzle, clicking everything into place and opening the doors to a life you may have only imagined. This wealth is not just for you. It is a legacy for your family, a tool for your community, and a reward for your unwavering belief in a better financial future. Take a moment to appreciate how far you have come before you head out to your appointment. The redemption process itself is expected to be very straightforward once you are inside the center. You will meet with a specialized exchange officer who will verify the authenticity of your notes using high-tech counting machines. Once the total is confirmed, you will be presented with the current rate and given options on how you would like to receive your funds. Most experts suggest that you should have several bank accounts ready, including at least one at a wealth management level to handle the large transfer. You may also be offered structured payouts or private placement opportunities that can provide you with a steady stream of income for years to come. The teams behind this process have ensured that these options are available to help investors manage their new wealth responsibly and avoid the trap of spending everything at once. As the exchange centers open their doors, the atmosphere is one of professional excitement and quiet intensity. These locations are prepared to handle thousands of people, but the demand will be massive, so patience is still a virtue. Remember that the revaluation is a massive logistical undertaking, and there may be small delays as the system synchronizes across different time zones and banking networks. Your goal is to remain calm, follow the instructions provided by the exchange staff, and ensure that all your paperwork is signed and filed correctly. This is a one-time event, and you want to make sure it is done right. The fact that the centers are opening is the ultimate proof that the information you have been following was accurate all along, and the truth is finally being revealed to the world. We also need to talk about the new Iraqi Dinar notes that may be introduced into the system. Part of the revaluation process often involves a currency exchange where older, large denomination notes are retired in favor of new notes with smaller denominations that are easier to use in daily life. If you are offered the chance to exchange your current notes for these new versions at a higher value, pay close attention to the terms. Current reports suggest that the notes being held by investors are fully valid for exchange at the new rates, so there is no need to worry about older paper currency. The value is in the currency itself and the sovereign backing of the nation of Iraq, not just the physical paper it is printed on. Your holdings are your ticket to this new economy, and they are more valuable now than they have ever been. As we move forward, the global financial landscape will look completely different than it did before. The revaluation of the dinar and dong is just the beginning of a larger shift toward transparency and asset-backed wealth. Bold statements from leadership have forced the hand of traditional financial media, who will now have to scramble to explain how they missed one of the biggest stories of our time. You, however, were not caught off guard because you stayed informed and kept your attention on reliable sources. This knowledge has given you a head start that many others wish they had, and now you have the capital to back up your vision. The world is your oyster, and this event is the pearl you have been searching for all these years. In the coming period, we will be providing more updates on the specific locations of exchange centers and any new contact numbers that are released for the public. It is essential that you stay connected to trusted information sources so you can receive this information as soon as it becomes available. Time is money, especially during a currency revaluation, and we are committed to being your most trusted source for Iraqi dinar news. The community of holders is growing stronger as more people realize that the revaluation is actually happening. We want to hear your stories and your plans for the future. We are all in this together, and the finish line is finally within our sight. Finally, take a moment to reflect on the historical significance of this moment. This time will go down in history as the period when the global financial scales were rebalanced and everyday people were given a chance to participate in the wealth of nations. The confirmation from leadership will be remembered as the catalyst that pushed this event into the public consciousness once and for all. Whether you hold a modest amount of dinar or a significant quantity of dong, you are now a part of a new class of global citizens who have the resources to make a real difference in the world. Use this wealth wisely, stay humble, and remember the journey that brought you here. The exchange centers are open, the rates are live, and your new life is waiting for you. As you prepare to head out to your redemption appointment, take one last look at those dinar and dong notes. They represent years of hope, countless hours of study, and a profound belief that the world could be a better, fairer place. Now, that belief is vindicated by the highest levels of leadership and the hard reality of a shifting global economy. The word has been given, the banks have updated their screens, and the revaluation is officially a mission accomplished. Go forward with confidence, secure your family's future, and enjoy every moment of the prosperity you have earned. This is the big one, the one we have all been waiting for, and it is even better than we imagined. Stay strong, stay alert, and we will see you at the top of the new financial world. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey with us here at Dinar for Veterans. We will continue to bring you every piece of verified information as the redemption process unfolds. Remember to keep your documents safe, your mouth shut, and your eyes on the prize. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese dong revaluation is the story of our time, and you are the main character. If you found this update helpful, please share this information with every holder you know, because everyone deserves to hear that the wait is finally over. This is your Independence Day from the old financial system. Go get what is yours, and let the world know that the dinar and dong are back and stronger than ever.